Hey, what's everyone? So today I'm just going to be taking a look at the Transformers Kingdom Wave 4 Deluxe Class Waspinator. Before we take a look at him, let's take a look at the packaging. So here he is in his Wasp mode and Robot mode. And I have to say the artwork of him looks amazing. So many really cool explosions. Love the purple for the wings and the bug eyes and the eyes for the Robot mode head. I think it looks really cool. Really cool stinger in his hand. Again, tons of explosions. Looks really cool. Let's look at the back of the box. He transforms into 20 steps. Here is his Wasp mode, here is his Robot mode, the typical Kingdom artwork, and that's pretty much it. So let's take a quick look at the collector card. So I got Megatron. I will post a picture of the inside artwork in the beginning of the video just so you can see it better, just in case if it's a little too shiny right now. But if you flip it open, here is Megatron with his cannon pointing at the sky, and there's a bunch of buildings and Decepticons there, and it looks really cool. So that's pretty much it for the little beginning stuff with the collector card and the box and stuff. Let's take a look at the details of a Waspinator. So I do want to say and apologize if this front section untabs at all during looking at the details and articulation. There is some areas of Waspinator that are not the most securely tabbed, so I might, if it untabs, I will have to tab it back in, and then I will carry on through all the other stuff. So I do apologize if that happens. But let's get into the details. So for the insect legs, I think they look really good. Nice brown for the insect legs. Very bony and pointy. Looks pretty good. I do love the wings. Really nice purple and really nice veining detailing there. Looks really nice. There is some texturing on the eyes, which is quite nice. Nice purple there too. Some more texturing on the little antennas. Brown again. We do have some nice green for the mandibles. Unfortunately, they cannot open or close, but still a nice touch to put there. We do have a nice Predacon symbol there, which is really the shoulder for the Robot mode, so you will probably be able to see it better in Robot mode, but still nice to see in the front. On the bottom, we do have a little bit of leg kibble, but not too bad. On the back, we do have some black and yellow detailing for the stinger. Nice point there for the stinger too. And some green there. And overall, quite nice. Let's get a quick comparison. I will have two different comparisons for the Robot mode, so do stay tuned for that. Let's compare him with Cheetor. I thought Cheetor because I'm pretty sure we both saw these two characters. I think we first saw Waspinator when he was first attacking Cheetor. I think that was the very first scene he was in. So I thought I could show these two together just because I thought it'd be pretty cool to see. But as you can see, Cheetor is a more lengthy, slim animal. Of course, it's a cheetah, and the Wasp, he's a more bulky, kind of chunky, less long beast mode. So, there you go. But still, very cool to see them. Very two classic, iconic characters of the Beast Wars show. But very nice. So let's get into articulation. So, first off, for the wings, they're on ball joints so they can rotate all the way around. Someone asked when I did the live stream. I did do a live stream, if you didn't know. I unboxed a bunch of characters, including this one, of course. So if you didn't see that, go check that out. But someone was worrying if these wings were too thin and they would break or anything. I have not had any problems with shipping or breakage or anything, so I would not worry about that at all. For the legs, so for the front leg, pretty good articulation. They can hinge that far back. It will bump into this, so a little bit limited, but still pretty good articulation. It might untab this section here, so you just have to tab that back into place. For the back parts, on this side, this one is so extremely tight for me. If you have this figure, do let me know if yours is like that too. It's really tight for me on that one. But for this one, it can hinge that far forward and that far back. You could probably do more. I just don't want to push it because if you rotate it too much, it could slide out of the section where it is in right there, and I don't want that to happen. But pretty good articulation for the legs. For the head, this can hinge up and down, and for the little antennas, they're on a ball joint. So pretty good articulation for the Wasp mode. So I guess that's pretty much it. We got articulation, details, and comparisons. So let's get into transformation. So again, I will hopefully try and make this transformation smooth. His transformation is pretty easy. Just kind of once you untransform one part, kind of everything unravels. So I will try and be as slow and smooth as possible. So first off, what we're going to do is you're just going to take this little stinger section out. You can just pop that out like right there. Like that. There we go. And how that's tabbed in is there is a peg and there is a port, and this is the stinger weapon for the robot mode, and we can put that off to the side. You don't have to do that first, I just thought that's the easiest thing to do. So now what you can do is you can really untab this entire section. So how this is connected is there is these little clips right there that will go right into these little tabs right there. It is not the most secure connection. I really do wish it was tighter, but I wouldn't say it's the biggest thing in the world. If you just, move it around casually, I don't think it will untab. But if you're doing big movements like articulation in a video, it could come untabbed like you saw in this video. But there we go. And now you can go back here, and this is the really crotch section, and it's tabbed into this section. So you're going to want to untab that. So just really pull this apart. So how this is tabbed in is there is a tab section there and another section there that just tabs into that little sliding section right there, and that's pretty secure. So now we can go here to the front. Hopefully you're not disoriented because there's a lot going on. What you can do now is there is a section right there, and that will rotate completely around. And now we can go to the feet. So the feet, you're going to want to have these little spiky pieces going back to become the heels, and this little middle section to be the foot, of course. So just bring it forward, and then bring this entire section back, just like that. Do the other foot as well, bring it into all forward, bring the other section back, and the legs are pretty much done. Of course, with these insect legs, you could really do a lot of different ways. I just have them sticking forward. There's not a ton of options, but you can have them facing down a little bit or facing up a little bit. But you do have to be aware however you position them. It could limit articulation of the top part with the arms and stuff like that. So now what you can do is we're going to go to the top part. You can untab this section here. So there is a peg on the arm and a port on the body right there, and that will just unpeg, and you can have this in the neutral position. You can get the hand rotated like that and do the same thing on the other side. Unpeg it like that, bring that down like that. You can get the hand, rotate it forward, and just have the insect legs however you wish. Let's go back here. So there is a slot on the insect head, and there's a tab there, so that will just untab. It reveals the robot mode head, which is very, very nicely detailed, in my opinion. And now let's just kind of start to put stuff together. So now you can bring it up on that hinge there, very, very nicely. And there is a tab right here, and a slot right there, and that will just tab right into place. Again, another area where it is not very secure, so I do want to say whenever I'm looking at the details of the robot mode and or articulation, if it untabs, I do apologize, I will just have to tab it back into place. And now there's this slider system. There is two tabs there and there. There are some slots in here, and that will just tab into place, which I do think is pretty secure. So now this other section here for the chest, you're just going to want to split this apart, and that will just kind of fit between this section here, and then you can really position the antennas however you wish. And that is pretty much it for the transformation. You can really have the wings however you wish. I'm going to have them down for now, and I'll show them with them up in a little bit. So there is Waspinator in his robot mode. So I do think overall, appearance-wise, I think it's an amazing robot mode and an amazing Wasp mode. Really just, it's amazing. But down to tightness of connections and joints, that's where the real problem is. Especially that tab I showed you earlier in the transformation right in the middle. It's not secure at all. It can just untab extremely easily like that. Also, splitting the Waspinator head, or the bug head, the wasp head, it doesn't really stay apart. There's really no locking mechanism. It can easily just reconnect, which is a shame. If it bothered you that much, you could just leave it connected together if you wanted to, but I will probably position it how it's supposed to be with it apart. But enough of the complaints, let's get into the details. We have to start with this amazing head. We have to. It looks so good. They did an amazing job with that. So we do have some really nice black and yellow on the top. We do have some purple back there. We do have some really nice purple for the eyes. Some gold on the side right there. We have some more green for these little like tusks or mandibles for the head, and some more yellow for the teeth and the inside. I think that looks amazing. More brown for the insect legs that you can see, some more green for the shoulders, that Predacon symbol we saw earlier, some more yellow, different shades of green, some dark for the shoulders, some light for the bicep. We do have some yellow on the forearm, some green for the hand. For the chest, we have that same purple we saw earlier for the eyes of the wasp. We have some more lighter green there in the middle, some darker green there, some lighter green for the crotch. For the legs, we have some brown for, of course, the same insect legs we saw earlier. We do have the black and white stripes kind of going back and forth down the leg. We have some more green, yellow, and some darker green for the feet. And on the back, we do have those wings that we saw from earlier. Really, I think they did an amazing job with cosmetically, really, the details. They just really need to improve the tightness of the joints. That's really the only problem that I have with this figure, which can be a deal breaker for some people. Other people, they don't really care about the joints at all. Me, I don't think it matters that much, but I do think there are some sections where it really is very important to have it secure, like this middle section there, because it does come untapped a little bit too much. But of course, playability wise, you can bring the wings up, have him in his typical kind of battle position if you want, like that. You can have him battle ready. Of course, he needs his weapon, his stinger, and I do think this stinger is kind of not very good. I wish there was maybe like a blade that could eject out of here, or you could tab it into that slot there, because right now it doesn't really look like a stinger. It kind of just looks like a piece of the try to be stinger, just kind of a missing piece from back there, so that is a shame that it's not the best weapon. There is a semi-point there which you could probably attach a blast piece if you wanted to, but I do wish there was maybe a clear little blade there or something, but not the biggest deal. If they wanted to, they could have just had this stay connected to the main, back section of the Wasp, and just give us the harpoon gun. If you have watched Beast Wars, in several episodes, he had like a harpoon gun or just like a typical like pistol. That would have been nice if they just gave us that. But here he is, completely battle ready with the wings out, ready to fly, and his really cool stinger, and I think it looks really just darn amazing. Amazing job with the head sculpts, just an absolute amazing job. They did a really, really good job with that. So, I think that's pretty much it for, detail-wise. Let's get some comparisons. So, let's compare him with a fellow teammate, Transformers Kingdom Wave 3, Scorponok. I think that looks pretty good together. They were not in the same scene very much, but still they were on the same team. Of course, Scorponok dies in I'm pretty sure the first season, but yeah, they are in the first season together. And let's get a Wavemate, Shadow Panther. So there you go. I think that looks pretty darn good to have them all together. All Predacons, each quite different. A Scorpion, a Wasp, and a Panther. Very, very cool. Tell me what you think of Waspinator in the comment section below. For Wave 4, which one do you like more, Shadow Panther or Waspinator? If you didn't see my Shadow Panther review, make sure you go check that out. I do think, in the tightness of joints and everything, I do think Shadow Panther is better, but of course it is hard to argue because it is a brand new mold. I understand, just there is some key points where I really think they could have done better. And let's move these two off to the side, and let's get into articulation. I will have to take his weapon out of his hand because I don't want it falling out or getting in the way or anything. So for articulation, the wings, ball joints. The head is a ball joint, so it can rotate all the way around, which is pretty good. Very, very good articulation for that. There is some rotation here. You will, if you want to get a full rotation, you can bring this head up, so you can rotate it all the way around. But, just make sure you bring it up, because in the standard position, it won't be able to do it fully around. Let's just split that apart again. For the antennas, they can rotate all the way around. For the shoulder, there is a full swivel there. There is a elbow joint, forward and back. And there is a swivel at the hand. A very tight swivel. And typical articulation for the insect arm, it can rotate all the way around. So pretty good articulation for the arms and the wings and the head. For the legs, so it can get a little bit messy because of these added on bits there, but it can do pretty much the full splits, I would say. It can kick that far forward. Definitely limited with the back because there's that big piece there. But if you go around it, it can kick that far back. There is a knee bend. Very, very cool. And it did untab, of course. Very typical of Waspinator, but you can just tab that back into place. Let's just straighten him up a little bit. Okay, so articulation-wise for the foot, there is an ankle tilt, and that's pretty much it for these legs. They can really hinge, and that's pretty much it. If you hinge it even more, they'll just pop out, but it won't break anything. So if you really wanted to get a good articulation, you can kind of test your luck if you want to, but it is kind of a pain to peg those back into place. I do apologize if it got a little bit messy just now. You know, some stuff does come untabbed. It just happens, and you just tab it back into place. But that's pretty much it for articulation for Waspinator. Overall, I think he's an amazing figure. Detail-wise, just again needs to have tighter joints. Definitely. Really, really amazing figure. Amazing head sculpt. Love the wings. Really nice details there. You can put them up or down, which is a very nice choice. The stinger, not so great in my opinion, but still very, very nice to have. I mean, I guess, you know, one weapon is better than no weapon, even if it's just an okay weapon. But that's pretty much it. So final thoughts, really amazing details. Really, really good. Joint tightness for the robot mode is good, just connections is the main problem there. Tell me what you think of this figure in the comment section below, and I think that's it, so I'll see you next time.